loves. So there are a bunch of energies swirling around, and I'm not sure what's going to land. So whatever you see in the title will be what came through today. And of course, we're just going to welcome in your highest self to support you in this process to receive the most beneficial messages for you. And again, we're just going to open up and see what wants to come through. A lot was swirling, but right before I got on here, I heard we're all about business today. And then I heard business in the front, party in the back, which, as some of you might know, is like a joke around the hairdo, the mullet. But it felt that might be significant for someone. That's why I'm sharing it. But also, it feels to me where there's some like maybe more serious things that are needing to be attended to up front, but as we can really face those and work through them or whatever this is, it's going to be more fun and light and playful energy. And as you move through the whatever's coming up about this business. And when I say we're all about business or business in the front, it feels like more serious energy. Like some things, like I said, need to be addressed. It feels like this opportunity to clear the air. It's like, let's just face what needs to be faced so that we can get to the good stuff, and I'm sure any of you who have worked through shadow work, it's uncomfortable when you're facing it. But as you move through it and you start to receive the results from what you've faced, like if you faced your fears and now you're doing what you love or whatever have you, you move through the discomfort to feel more comfort than you've ever had in your whole life. It's 444 as I just looked at the clock. So let's see, yes, like what is opening up, what wants to come through, wherever or whoever is connected with this energy. Okay, me talks repairing the body, mind, and spirit. So again, this feels like taking the time to shore things up, to detox physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and really letting things from what was clear out, like business up front, so that as you get through the other side of this, you come through feeling fresher and clearer and more confident, cleaner, more present is what's coming through. All right. I'm feeling, all right, let's just go into what is this? As you go through this process of handling your business, shoring up, it's like shoring up things that you've wanted to shore up, like it's like cleaning up any loose ends is what's coming up. And that's one thing. And then it also feels like taking inspired action as it aligns. So it's like you're clearing up, detoxing, unraveling, dissolving, cleaning up old contracts, cleaning up your house, cleaning up your body, cleaning up your space. It feels like setting boundaries. Okay, something's coming through that feels really important. So, part of this business. Okay, so what's coming through is this energy of like where someone has been setting boundaries. They've been very clear around what it is that they need and want. And maybe they're not, well, what's coming through is they're not getting the response that you would respect from people who appreciate and honor you. And this is where dropping into full boundaries is really important because sometimes we think stating, please don't do that anymore, I don't like it, is a boundary. Or if you do this or that, I'm not going to talk to you anymore, but then you keep talking to them. It feels really important that when you're setting a boundary, you actually have a clear boundary in the sense of like, okay, I don't like that. It makes me uncomfortable. And if you continue to do it, I will not be able to participate in the conversation with you any longer. And then if they keep doing it, you actually pull out of the conversation. Okay. That's where you're setting a clear, direct boundary. And then when it's not honored or respected, you actually follow through with stepping back. Because in some of the old energies, what I feel like is somebody is detoxing from previously asking for what they wanted, not receiving what they wanted, and then repeatedly trying to explain to the person why they needed it. And the person might sit there and act like they're listening, but then they didn't actually follow through on respecting what you were saying. But this pattern sort of repeats, and every single time the pattern comes up, this person is just trying to reiterate the same information in a different way. This feels really important to unravel and take a step back from if anything like this is sounding familiar to you, because what's happening is it's actually getting caught up in an energetic loop and it's keeping you in the pattern. And actually, you're becoming part of the cycle, even though you're doing your best to communicate your needs clearly. If the person on the other side is not receiving your clear communication, or they're not able to receive it or absorb it, then it's up to you to say, okay, I communicated it. You're not receiving my communication. So now it's my job to provide for myself and take a step back. Okay. There can be a lot of different situations like this, but what I'm sensing right now is that someone is in need of strengthening some deeper boundaries with more clarity. So I'm kind of sensing the person connected with this maybe would say that they didn't want something, but then their boundaries would sort of waver, or they would say, if you do this, you're going to have this consequence. And then when it came and to that time, they never followed through on the consequence. So, of course, the situation is just going to continue to evolve in the same exact manner, and the loop never shifts until someone shifts. And so it's like you can have an experience, an event, a re- plus a response. That's your response, and that equals the outcome, right? So if you're experiencing something over and over again, it's your job to change how you are responding to the experience so that you can shift the outcome. Now, they may or may not provide you with the outcome you're hoping for, but what you are doing is shifting the energy enough so that you're not agreeing to stay in that same energetic loop. Okay. So, all right, let's go. What I want to see what else wants to come with this. Okay. So, I'm also seeing this might be something that some of you have resolved and you went through it in the past. And now you're maybe just thinking about memories of this, or maybe there's residuals coming up, or there's similar experiences or people or places or things bubbling up to the surface right now, but you're different and you're reacting different. And so it's going to help shift those patterns. So this is coming up to the surface the way that it is to give you the opportunity to drop in your boundaries and to embody everything you have been working on. And the cool part is once you actually set those boundaries and embody into the version of who you are becoming and who you are now, each time something like this comes into your life, it'll be easier and easier to just move through it. So something that may have been really, really hard for you to like set a clear boundary and follow through on it at one point, all of a sudden, as you start doing it, it might feel really uncomfortable or a little bit scary. But what happens is you're going to start to feel better and you start to really build the momentum into receiving clear positive results around setting those boundaries and following through to support yourself. And so over time, it gets like effortless. It's so easy to set a boundary and stick to it that it becomes like second nature and you don't even have to think about it. And what I'm picking up on is there's some of you who are right in this embodiment phase. And maybe you've been doing this and you're going through another round of embodiment. And so you're purging another layer of an old version of you that didn't have as good of boundaries as you have now. And you're really embodying more of that higher self. And I feel like it's really important to acknowledge why this happens is not because you've done something wrong, but because your capacity to stabilize and hold yourself is expanding so much that more of this energy can come up to clear out. So these patterns, these dynamics, these energies have been in your field, in your subconscious, maybe for lifetimes, or maybe through generations in your ancestral line. So when more comes up, after you've been like bebopping along and feeling really good, it's again because your capacity is getting stronger and stronger and bigger and bigger. So the more you're able to clear, the more new information you can bring in, the more creation energy you can hold and embody, and the more you can manifest in the energy that you're actually wanting to create. Okay, so this there's more that wants to come with this because I can feel it. There was something else that wanted to come through with that. Just give me 1 second. All right. Or maybe that was the complete thought. It'll come back around if it's meant to. But it does feel that you're definitely ready to level up with this process. So if you've been wondering about that, keep going because what I'm getting with this me talks is a bit more just really allowing the old patterns to fully clear. And what I'm feeling is that when you're in this space of this next level of embodiment and you're leveling up, you may find that you're needing more time alone. You are moving in more deeply and directly into your new energy. And it's not that you're getting rid of everybody in your life or anything like that, but it may feel like you really need to nurture and nourish yourself. In a sense, it's like you're the one birthing the new version of you. And so you're the one that's responsible for caring for that. And so if you're walking through these shifts and you're feeling a bit vulnerable, then take that space to support yourself through it. And that feels connected to this me talks time where you're learning how to bring yourself central to your life and not everybody else and what their expectations are. Okay. All right. What else would like to come through with this? Okay. So this is all part of you spending time getting more and more deeply true with yourself, really deeply discovering what it is that you want, how you feel, and what, oh, there's something here that's wanting to thaw out. And I see it's like this 10 of cups is like bringing in everything that you want. I feel like some of you are in this phase where you once thought you knew exactly what you wanted. You thought you had it all figured out, which is great. And then you started to grow and you started to learn more and you started to adventure out and you started to connect with different concepts and different ways of being. And it started changing your whole entire perspective. And so you started questioning, like, what is it that I really do want? And oh, that was the part I wanted to tell you. So sometimes we start to figure out what we want, and then we immediately think that we have to micromanage the universe and figure out every step of how to get there. And this is your call, this is your job to release micromanaging the universe. Get yourself a piece of paper and just start jotting down, writing down how you want to feel and some of the elements of what you want to experience in your life. Some of your goals, right? Like, say you want a house or a car, or you want to grow your own business, or you want to travel, or you want to get in shape in 2026, whatever your goal is, right? You can write those down and then you surrender to source, your higher power, and start to say, okay, now show me some steps that are aligned, some aligned action, right? Inspired action that can actually get me from where I am to where I want to be. Because a lot of times we go into that immediate, into what we already know, and then we start to try to force the pathway forward. But that actually sometimes just gets you exhausted because you're trying to force something to be what it's not just yet. And this doesn't mean that your skills aren't important. Your skills absolutely are important, but if you want to expand upon those skills, this is where you take the time to contemplate, to take a step back, to start saying your prayers or meditate or setting the intention with your connection to the higher power that you would like to be led to the inspired steps that are actually going to lead you in a direction that's going to actually be supportive for what you're wanting to create. Because sometimes we get antsy with nothing happening. And so instead of sitting here and meditating, we get up and we start trying to force things to be, again, a certain way. And then it doesn't really work, and we get exhausted and we go back to the starting board. When really the whole time you could have just been chillaxing in your tub, soaking in some healing, right? And receiving your downloads to give you the guidance on the swiftest, most comfortable, enjoyable, fun path of how to manifest what it is that you want. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes, a lot of times, just being for a time when you're uncertain, but opening up to the possibilities can open up new perspectives to support you from getting from where you are to where you want to be, but in a way that's actually enjoyable, that's actually fun, that's actually supportive versus the old workhorse energy of trying to force things into place before they actually fit. The beautiful part about this is that in that process, right, in between getting the downloads in the actual manifestation is where you gain the skills, the muscle, and the intelligence to actually sustain everything that you have been asking for. So the process of being present, of allowing yourself to go through these processes of embodiment is very powerful because once you embody something and you become it, once you take those steps to be it, no one can ever take that from you. And there's nothing more powerful than that. And that is the type of energy that I'm speaking about When I say you build more and more confidence and things that once felt hard or scary, all of a sudden you feel confident and comfortable enacting those boundaries because you have worked for those. You have learned how to embody them. You have gotten honest and real with yourself about how you were participating in the old dynamics that was keeping it going. But now you're setting boundaries and following through. You're taking time to listen to yourself and to be still and to let the higher power work through you versus trying to force things into place before they're ready. And on that journey, you're opening up and you're learning more and more about yourself, more and more about your true abilities, and more about the strength and capacity that actually has been living within you all of the time. So when you felt frustrated, wondering, why can't I manifest the way I think I should? It's because now you're taking the time to receive the results and actually embody them instead of running from them or being upset that uncomfortable situations are coming up. Instead, take the bull by the horns, face those situations, face the discomforts, push through the discomforts, and embody into your true self. And things will start to get lighter and lighter and easier, and you will feel more results over time. And again, as many of you who have been through this, as you know, as you start to actually receive those results, you'll feel like, oh man, this was hard. It sucked. I never want to do this again. And then you start to get the results and you're like, okay, yeah, that was worth it. Okay. So I don't know who needed this message today, but I hope it was helpful. I hope it was supportive. I'm sending you so much love. I will put all of my information in the pinned comments if you would like to connect with me, and I will see you soon. Much love. Take care. Peace.